About that breaking news before the break, we are just learning that a judge has denied another one of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' requests to be released on bail. Remember, he's behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn waiting for his trial to get started for us. We were waiting for this decision. We got it in now. What do we know?
All right. Well, it's 5 pages. And the takeaway here is that the judge is saying that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. And that was what New York prosecutors were saying. I was in court twice last week, and I listened to these prosecutors say that he was a danger to the community. And they showed that video, that surveillance video of him from 2016, brutally beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, saying that he has a propensity to violence, and that alone is a reason why we cannot agree to the proposed bail package. Now, his team had offered $50 million, a home of his in Miami as collateral, and they said that he would live in an apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side, monitored by 24-hour security, that he would only talk to his attorneys, that he would only have, certain family members on a pre-approved list, and that, he would actually be under stricter conditions than he is at the jail in Brooklyn. But clearly, this is the third time.
Yeah.
This judge not buying it.
What was Diddy like in court? You were there twice last week. What
Yes.
was his demeanor like?
I mean, he was smiling on Friday, turned around and looked at his children. All of his children were there except for his infant child. His mother was there. He looked a little thinner. He looked a little worse for wear, but he has seemed upbeat and positive. And a few days earlier on Wednesday, so a week ago today, his legal team had a win because his team was able to say that New York prosecutors wrongly obtained 16 pages of notes from his jail cell during a routine sweep, that it had his defense strategy, it had witnesses that they planned to call at the criminal trial in May, and the judge agreed that those should have been protected under attorney-client privilege. So there was a feeling today among reporter friends of mine and people in the building here that, maybe there's a chance that the judge, given he's taking several days to think about this, he asked for both sides to write a letter, that he might release him. But this is the third time. His team were waiting for a response from his legal team. They could appeal again, but we were talking to Danny Ceballos earlier, and he said, they would have to propose something new and different to potentially be successful for a fourth attempt.
I wouldn't have predicted seeing that headline. Diddy, the music mogul known for his lavish lifestyle, private parties, and empire that defined an era, is reportedly begging for mercy following a dramatic occurrence behind the prison walls. He was once hailed as the king of hip-hop, but is now caught in a cyclone of shame and desperation. Let's begin this engrossing story that will have everyone wondering how we got here.
Tonight, we are hearing from Diddy for the first time since a disturbing video from 2016 surfaced showing the superstar violently assaulting his then-girlfriend. Sean Combs says he's disgusted by his own actions and not asking for forgiveness. Adrian Broaddus has more, with a warning that some of what you're about to see is hard to watch.
I'm so sorry.
Tonight, a 67-second apology from Sean Combs.
But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Diddy publicly denied all the allegations against him, but now
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help.
Ventura filed a lawsuit against Combs in November, stating that around March of 2016, at a former Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Mr. Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. It was settled less than 24 hours later. Today, Ventura's attorney responding. Combs' most recent statement is more about himself than the many people he has hurt.
It's an admission likely without a lot of consequence.
Could this video mean anything for future cases?
If Diddy is sued civilly or prosecuted for other crimes, then it might be possible to get these videos into evidence.
The LA District Attorney says the case is outside the statute of limitations.
I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
These are for people who are genuinely sorry, not for deviants whose life purpose has been to wreak havoc on everyone around them. Adrian Broaddus, NBC News.
Even Diddy's most loyal fans are shocked by what happened during that turbulent altercation, and more importantly, what this means for a man whose reputation has already suffered greatly due to the alleged leak. Imagine this. A man who used to walk the red carpet and run entire boardrooms is suddenly surrounded by cold, hard walls and a completely different kind of audience. The stories coming out of the jail are captivating, but they're also shady.
From his $48 million Miami mansion to hell on earth where chaos reigns. Just some of the words used to describe the Metropolitan Detention
and conceal his conduct.
He is not the first high-profile inmate to pass through these walls. Ghislaine Maxwell, R. Kelly, Pharma Bro, Martin Shkreli, and crypto fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried, all as they waited for their federal criminal trials, called this jail home. But the conditions of the prison are far from homey, notoriously described as, quote, dreadful, as one judge put it. Some on the bench have even moved away from sending nonviolent defendants. 3 years alone, 4 inmates have died by suicide. And violence is not the only issue. Accusations of medical neglect, staffing shortages, smuggling of drugs, some allegedly facilitated by employees. At least 6 staff members charged with crimes in the last 5 years, according to the AP. Some accused of accepting bribes and providing contraband.
I've had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
Lance A. Clark is a federal defense attorney who's been there many times.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Occupy the streets until they get heat.
In the winter of 2019, protests over a power outage left inmates without light or heat for a week in the cold.
I understand how cold it must be in those cells, and not to have any electricity, any lights, and to not be able to communicate with your family is just inhumane.
The prison has about 1,200 detainees and is the only federal prison in the nation's largest city.
Let's take a moment to look back at how a person larger than life ended up in jail. His arrest, which was linked to AL's allegations of serious misconduct, shocked both admirers and detractors.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now I want to be or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that.
Wasn't a little mishap. On the surface, it appeared that Diddy would weather the storm, but jail is a great equalizer. Nobody is exempt, not even a millionaire. And the charges were severe enough to shatter the layers of influence and power he had laboriously built up over decades.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars. A magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors." Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York, ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case. They urged the judge to remand him. She did, and when the judge did, Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released.
Let's go back to the fight. Despite the haziness of eyewitness testimonies, this is what we have found. Before anyone intervened, Diddy and a group of inmates got into a heated argument that escalated into a brawl. According to reports, Diddy was injured multiple times and had to be taken to the prison infirmary. What's even more shocking is the audacity of it all. Diddy isn't just any prisoner. He's a public figure with influence that extends well beyond those walls. But in the heat of the moment, none of that mattered.